Welcome to another episode of Todoist Productivity Tips. My name is Jerry Colbert, and in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about how I utilize Todoist, Part 2. Coming up next. So here we are within Todoist for Mac. And if you watched my last episode, I was talking about how I utilized Todoist in my everyday workflow. Now, in this part 2 of this episodes, I want to talk to you all about filters and how I use my filters in my daily routines to chunk down the amount of tasks that I have. Because if you watched in my last episode, I was talking about how I utilize a lot of tasks to help me build positive habits, as well as breaking habits that are not positive, as well as adding a lot of routine tasks that I do on an everyday basis, and of course any tasks that I have that I want to accomplish in the future. Now, the thing with it is that I like to chunk down these tasks. As you see here, I have 55 tasks left to do for today, so I like to chunk them down into segments here utilizing filters. Now, when I utilize filters, they are based upon mainly about my labels, as well as sometimes I have some filters related to projects, but for the most part they're based on labels. Now, whenever I start my day, I kind of work my way on down. Now, you're probably wondering why I have all this stuff up here and then I have morning routines down here, because to be honest with you, in my morning routine is when I get out of bed in the morning, what I want to accomplish for my first couple hours. And so I have set up I guess you could say a daily habit to try to help myself develop a routine of getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, and which is about 2 hours and 45 minutes prior to me having to leave for my day job. And me accomplishing tasks such as, exercise, taking a shower, eating, relaxing, meditating, and such. So, however, when I first get up in the morning, I always like to remind myself, because I am somewhat forgetful, of what I have to focus on today. So as you see here, I have a filter here that's called Today's Focus. Now, today's focus is going to be things that I need to focus on for the day. They're like my main objective for the day that I am going to accomplish this day. And it'll usually be maybe 1, 2, or 3 tasks that I have set aside for that day. And sometimes, like for instance, today is recording day, it's audio video day. So I have some tasks set up for that, but I also have tasks set up in Asana to help me with the video production, which is where I do all of my video production or ideas is within Asana. But within Todoist, I do set up some tasks that I need to accomplish prior to actually setting up my audio video for the day. Now, each day is different, of course. Different things go on different days, so I might have a different focus on the next day. Like yesterday, Saturday, I had focused on completing administrative tasks, such as, paying bills, doing all kinds of other miscellaneous mundane tasks, so to speak. And I've kind of segmented that down to just on Saturday, so I don't get so annoyed with doing it every single day, because it's not one of the most fun tasks to do, is the administrative portion of it, balancing your checkbook and such and that. So I usually just do that once a week on a Saturday. So that day I had 3 or 4 main things that I wanted to get done. Now, these are usually tasks that are moving my life forward or where I want to go. Next, you have bills due. So typically, I always want to have this here. Now, you might want to do something differently, but I have my bills due for the next 30 days, and you're wondering, well, why do you need to know that every single day? Well, I don't necessarily do, but I do, since I am somewhat forgetful, I do like to remind myself just in case I have forgotten about something, and it shows me all my bills that are due for the next 30 days from this moment forward till 30 days out. And it kind of just gives me a brief bird's eye view so I'm not forgetting that I might have something coming up that's due. So I'm not caught off guard, basically. So this is just basically a review. I don't really do anything with this because, this one's Thursday, March 1st. So it's not today. Today's Sunday. So I have no reason to accomplish this. But maybe I got some extra money that came in. Maybe I want to take care of one of these bills ahead of time. There's nothing saying that I can't do that. But anyways, this gives me kind of a bird's eye view of what I want to do. Now, next I have random tasks for today that are not routines and not errands. So what do I mean by that? Well, these are any other miscellaneous tasks that I have thought of for today that I want to accomplish today that are not necessarily focus related items that's going to move my life forward, but are tasks that I might want to accomplish today if I have enough time. If I don't, they'll get forwarded to the next day. They're not that important. As you see, they're not even labeled in an important label like P1 or P2. It's just a P4 label or a priority, I mean. So these are things that I want to accomplish today. When I accomplish them, just whenever I have some downtime, I'll go ahead and accomplish them. But I do kind of like to remind myself, hey, I do have a couple things in there. So whenever I'm downtown or I have some downtime, I can accomplish those tasks, whenever that is, whenever I get done with the other tasks that I have. I also have a thing for chores for today. Now this mainly is for Saturday. But occasionally, maybe if I didn't get done with my chores, maybe I didn't dry all my clothes yesterday or whatever, I might forward that task over to today or what have you, and it'll be in here. So it's just kind of a little reminder to say, hey, dummy, you got something to do here. So these are any kind of chores like washing dishes, washing your clothes, folding your clothes, ironing your clothes, or what have you. Errands for today is anything that I need to do out in town. Now, at one point in time, I did create something that was like, a grocery store or this or that, but I found that for the most part, I just need to know whenever I leave work. So when I'm at my day job and I go at noon, I know if I'm going to lunch or whatever, and I know I'm going to accomplish tasks out while I have my hour lunch. I might go to the bank. I might go pick up something from the store. All of those items that I'm going to do that are miscellaneous items that I need to pick up stuff or do stuff at is errands that I need to run. So all of my errands for the day go under this filter. Now, next I have morning routines. And typically whenever I start my day, I just kind of do this number. I'll just kind of start here, kind of work my way down. Just kind of reminding myself of what I got to do today. And then my morning routines is everything that I need to accomplish in the morning when I wake up. And that's, make my protein shake, create my protein shake for later on in the day, take my vitamins, do all these miscellaneous things that I need to do. And so typically, like I say, in the day, I have like 70 or so tasks, or even sometimes 90 or 100 tasks, just depends on what day it is. And so I've already knocked out a few of those tasks for today, and I've already done this one, I did this one, still got to do that one, I did this. And then I have this task in there, which I'll go ahead and click that off too, because it's not really that important for today. But usually I have that one in there for those days that I need to leave and go out to my day job. This is a weekend. I'm not at my day job today. So anyways, and so I got this one left to do here, and so I'll take care of that in a little bit. And then, of course, I have this one in here I found this very useful because a lot of times I might want to accomplish something at work that during my lunchtime or what have you. Like, for instance, tomorrow I have to mail out my eBay package of something I sold on eBay. I had to mail it out to the buyer. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm doing my morning routine and I'm ready to leave for work, and I'm going to accomplish that mailing that package out at noontime when I go to lunch and everything, and I do my errands. But a lot of times I have found that when I left my home in the morning to go to work, I'd oftentimes around noontime be like, oh, I got to run my errand. I got to go and mail off that package. Uh-oh. I left the package at home. So I got to go back home, get the package, and then go to, and so, it just takes a little bit more time to do that. So right before I leave, I check here to see if there's anything that I need to put in my car to take with me so I can accomplish that task during my lunchtime at work. So I have a before I leave my house filter. Then, of course, at my day job, I have filters for my day job to keep me on track at my day job. And so, a lot of these tasks here are, especially during the weekday, are 70, 90, 100 tasks because I have things I have to do at work. So if I just went by the today view, it'd be out of order. As you remember from my last episode, it'd be out of order. And so there's no congruency. So by doing this, breaking it up, I have set chunks of time during the day that I'm accomplishing things. So in the morning time, I have a manager's meeting. So these are any things that I want to go over with my managers or any kind of tasks that I want to parse out to them. We'll go here. And then, of course, in my morning Hampton routines that I need to take care of, I go ahead and take care of those that morning. Any afternoon tasks that I need to take care of. And then I also have a Hampton in today. Sometimes I like to just look at a bird's eye view of the whole day just to see, during if I have some downtime, just kind of give my eyes a little glance of what I got going on. Maybe I got too many things going on and I can parse some of those out to some other days during the week. So I have that in there. And then I have my evening routines. So the evening routines are things after I get home when I leave work at 5 and I get home. These are everything that I'm going to accomplish in the evening time. And so as you see, I have all of these tasks that I have set up for what I'm going to be doing for this evening. And so, and the evening, and if I go back over here to my projects and I need to remind myself what my evening routine consists of, I do have a little note in here. If I go under evening, it says right here, it's a non-completable task right after I get home from day job, usually after 5 p.m. Now, it's not necessarily always after I get home from my day job because, like for instance, today I'm not working, so, but I will still complete these usually after 5 p.m. so I stay on track and I don't mess up my routine. Because I found that if I'm on a set routine, things are structured a lot better and go a lot better than living in chaos mode and just doing it whenever. So I'll have this this task in here that reminds me, hey, yeah, usually this is after 5 p.m. But typically, for the most part, since I've gotten in a habit, I know that my evening routines now are after 5 p.m. And my evening routines typically get finished before 8:30 at night. Because at 8:30 at night, I have my winding down routine. So as in, if you remember my last episode, I was talking about how I have tried to develop a new habit of getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. And usually that's my morning routine, and I get all that stuff 5 a.m. to 7:45 before I leave for work. And I get all of my morning routine done. Well, I also have a winding down routine, which is winding down right before bedtime, which my bedtime usually is at 10 o'clock. So at 8:30 at night, I start winding down, doing all my winding down routines, such as, making my shake for the next morning, maybe taking a shower, doing some light meditation work and stuff like that. So these are some of the winding down routines that I have. Putting my phone on the charger, putting my MacBook Pro on the charger, putting my even my Fitbit on the charger, stuff like that. Just all the small little winding down stuff. Taking my sleeping pill if I want to, or what have you. Whatever it is that I'm doing for my winding down routine, I have there, and then it's good night. After that, and then I wake back up and I start the whole process again. So like I say, usually it's all of these filters here all the way down here to winding down routine. Now you do see that I do have some other tasks down here below. Winding down routine, and typically sometimes I use some of these right here to do my weekly review, okay, or even maybe I'm using it for my daily review. Down here at the bottom, you see I do have a daily review checklist that I do that keeps myself on track for any of my daily review that I do during my evening routine checklist, or my winding down checklist. So this is basically how I set up filters here in my day-to-day tasks. Now, I didn't want this episode to go too long, but in my next episode, which will be part 3 of this little series here, we'll be going over a little bit more in detail about how I set up these filters, as well as a few other little tidbits that I have found that has helped me keep myself on track. So if you like this video, don't forget to click on that like button right down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified of any upcoming episodes. And so without further ado, I want to wish you all an awesome day, and let's become more productive. Thank you.